Hello, and I'm Kayla Kilgore. This is my informative speech. Unfortunately do not have any audience members because they all ditched out on me tonight, and I had no other option but to record this on my own. Have you ever seen a child act out in public that makes you think, really, who is parenting that child? There might be many ideas going through your mind, but the one that sticks out to me is, I wonder if that child has a disability. The thoughts that go through my mind are, I want to figure out that child. I want to be able to help the parents understand their child. These many thoughts have come with me through many years of being a paraprofessional within Lincoln Public Schools, integrated learning program here in Omaha, and babysitting for 12 years. I sometimes think I've seen it all, but there are many different disabilities within this world. And I will address to you some of those that you might have within your own child. We first need to recognize what behavioral disorders is defined as. We need to find out what some of the symptoms to look for. And last but not least, we need to figure out how to therapeutically help the child. According to the mentalhealth.gov website, behavioral disorders involve a pattern of disruptive behaviors in children that last for at least 6 months and cause problems in school, at home, and in social situations. Behavioral disorders are a very broad term, though, because there are many different types. A few examples are autism, Asperger's, ADHD, developmentally delayed, and there are much more. As these are only a few examples, there may be many more that could be talked about, but unfortunately I don't have enough time. Autism is a group of developmental disabilities, which is called the autism spectrum disorder. According to WebMD.com, these disorders involve delays in the development of many basic skills, including socialization or have relationships with others and to communicate effectively. Children also have intellectual disabilities and behavioral challenges as well. The symptoms for autism include problems with verbal communication, as in understanding language. The child might not be able to have a conversation with you. Some children can't even keep eye contact with the person they are talking to. This is known as nonverbal communication. Many autistic children would rather play alone because they can't form the relationships that others can. A couple other major signs that I have picked up on my own are different body movements, like swaying back and forth, spinning around, or holding a remote for comfort, moving it up and down, looking at the remote, or flapping the hands. According to UNL.edu, autism can co-occur with other disabilities as well. ADHD is another common behavioral disorder. WebMD states, children with ADHD show signs of inattention, hyperactivity, and or impulsivity in different ways. Some symptoms you can look for are a constant motion, constantly moving, squirmy, fidgety. You do not feel like they're listening to you. They have trouble playing quietly. They talk excessively, interrupt others. They're easily distracted. Last but not least, they do not finish the task at hand. And to be honest, I have suffered from this myself. We have talked of only a couple types of behavioral disorders, but now we need to discuss how to help the child get through the disability so they can reach their fullest educational potential. As for helping a child with autism, there's no cure. According to WebMD.com, there is a treatment that may allow relatively normal development in the child and reduce undesirable behaviors. There are options for treatment, though, that include special education, which is designed to help the educational needs of the child. You can also get your own child involved in speech, physical or occupational therapy, which helps with language since most children with autism suffer a language barrier. As for treatment with ADHD, there are many different options that you have, just like autism. WebMD gives great information of the treatment overview, a plan that would include special education, psychological intervention, and drug treatment. Studies have shown that long-term treatment with a combination of medications and behavioral therapy is much better than just medication treatment. Therefore, using special education and the child being involved with medication can co-work together. This is just the start of what can be discussed with behavioral disabilities. There are many disabilities within the world, and I only touched on a couple basics because these are the two most popular behaviors that I have encountered. I have encountered a child with Down syndrome as well, and it is another developmental disability. It can be scary, though, to think after you just had a child that it could have a disability. One can never be prepared enough for what is to come. It is important to educate yourself if your child does display symptoms of a disability. Now that you know what some behavioral disorders are, what it's defined as, some examples of the disorder, symptoms to look for, and how to treat a child, I hope that you can take this information that I have for you and use it to help your child in the future. Or maybe you can even use it in your own job. Apply as a paraprofessional, help these children that have these developmental disabilities, because you can truly make a difference in a child's life. Thank you.